red flags are indicators of potential corruption. While purchasing goods and services are everyday tasks in the public sector, these activities can be vulnerable to exploitation for private benefit by New South Wales public officials, suppliers and cybercriminals. Fortunately, public officials are well placed to identify red flags and take action to prevent, detect and respond to corruption. Through its investigations, the ICAC has identified a number of red flags commonly associated with corrupt procurement activities within public authorities. Here are some examples. A public official's relationship with a supplier seems unusually close or overly friendly. For instance, they might socialise together, exchange gifts, or have a personal relationship. A direct approach is made to a supplier instead of following proper procurement processes such as going to tender. A newly created company is preferred over a pre-qualified one with strong business credentials, financial viability and experience. Exemptions are used to expedite procurement processes, often in response to an introduced sense of urgency. Purchase orders are raised after an invoice is received or not at all. Transactions are split to avoid scrutiny from senior management. Contracts are varied to expand a project beyond the agreed scope or allocated budgets with little or no supporting documentation. Complaints are received from unsuccessful bidders about the fairness of a tender process. A public official takes excessive control of procurement processes, including by not taking leave or not sharing duties. Audits are delayed or avoided without good reason. Relevant information to support approval processes is not provided, is incomplete or misleading. The reasons for decisions are poorly documented. Invoices are approved and processed at an unusual time by an unusual financial delegate or from an unusual budget or cost centre. A public official asks someone else to generate and finalise transactions on their behalf. Sequentially numbered invoices are approved and processed. The ICAC recognises there are many examples of red flags of corruption in procurement, and that this is just a small list of some of them. A single red flag can indicate serious corruption, but it could also highlight poor practice that is not corrupt, something that legitimately arises from an unusual circumstance or an honest mistake. Regardless of how serious a red flag appears, the ICAC recommends that you bring it to the attention of others and ask questions about how and why it occurred. It could be as simple as having an initial discussion with your supervisor. If the red flag cannot be clearly explained, then you are encouraged to report it internally and/or to make a report to the ICAC. Corruption can occur at any stage of the procurement process, from identifying a need for the purchase of goods and services through to the payment of invoices and management of the supplier relationship. Identifying and acting on red flags is one way you can prevent corruption from occurring and help to build your agency's corruption resilience. When we respond to red flags and manage the risks properly, the New South Wales public and suppliers are more likely to have confidence in public authorities. We also have a better chance of achieving genuine value for money for the billions of dollars of goods and services procured each year. Visit www.icac.nsw.gov.au for further information.